Please welcome to the stage the president of Mack Trucks and chair of Volvo Group North America, Stephen Roy.
All right, good afternoon, and I'm super excited to be here at CONEXPO-CONAGG, representing not just Mack Trucks, but also the Volvo Group North America. And I would say this show for us is super important because we really serve the industries with our Volvo construction equipment, Mack Trucks, Volvo Trucks, and also Volvo Penza. So it is a critical show for us, and I'm glad to represent the total investment. So, while the Volvo groups are heavily integrated, with each other today, we're really going to primarily talk about Mack Trucks, which, by the way, celebrated a 125-year anniversary last year. So obviously a milestone for the Mack organization. And on Monday night of this week, we actually dig deeper into our vocational segment, which is super core for the Mack organization and what we're known for. We actually had two launches in one great night, and that was our all-new Granite, our vocational truck. This has been the bedrock for many, many years, and also a new product that replaced the Pinnacle called the Keystone. Again, a new standard for demanding job sites and heavy hauling. And these trucks are obviously combining durability the drivers need, but also safety and comfort, which is extremely important and something that our operators and drivers demand of trucks. The other thing that's really important is some of the things we're really focused on, from collision avoidance technology to custom chassis configurations, premium air suspension seats, state-of-the-art. But to be honest with you, what we're starting to see that features like these are not unheard of in our industry. I mean, we have very much similar platforms and components in this industry. So for us, what we're trying to do is really focus on looking at things from a different perspective. And this is what really Mack Trucks is trying to focus on, is how do we deliver continued value to our customers and also make sure these are super reliable and important vehicles. And so what we've really started to focus on is innovative services that integrate solutions that can really help make faster, better, smarter decisions around your vehicles, your business, and your people on a real-time basis. And at the end of the day, it's about a bottom line. It's the future for us around trucking is what we call beyond the truck. So obviously the truck is the platform. The truck is the part that really delivers the goods and services. But at the end of the day, we also need to find a way to improve the productivity, safety, and ensure that our trucks are delivering. And at the end of the day, there's something to be said that how do we continue to drive this? In fact, if I look at Mack and Volvo Trucks, one of the first OEMs to really think about uptime, in 2014, we opened our state-of-the-art uptime center in Greensboro, North Carolina. And here is where we have Mack One Call. That's our 24/7 call center to support drivers, not only for planned stops, for unplanned stops as well. And our industry-leading technology around telematics has been around for many years, focused on fault codes to provide quick diagnostics, proactive repair scheduling, and in many cases, actually make sure the parts are there before the driver gets into our shops for repairs. And many of this, again, as I said before we get to the service bay. And today, uptime is still critical. That's something that's bread and butter for us to focus on how we can support our trucks and make sure they're uptime. But we're also starting to see this as a foundation that is now allowing us to look at other services and solutions that we can provide to our customers. As we move forward, I'd like to bring up a few more folks to help me as we start to talk about beyond the truck. So first, I'd like to welcome Jonathan Randall, who is our president of Mack Trucks North America, Nicole Portello, our senior vice president and chief digital officer, and also John Summers, vice president of construction utility, who's going to moderate the panel for us today. So please, if I could have Jonathan, Nicole, and John. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I guess I'll kick this off by Stephen, JR, Nicole, I really appreciate the opportunity to invite me on stage to help moderate this conversation and lead us along here today. Thanks for all of you being out here in the audience, in the room, those watching on a live stream, and anybody that's going to watch this video after the fact over the next week, month, whatever it is. So I guess without further ado, I'll get us started here. So Stephen, great intro, quick little overcap there. So I know you said that the services and solutions are the real differentiator in today's competitive landscape, and I want to dive into that a little bit. But first, let's spend a few minutes on these new trucks. I stopped by the booth yesterday afternoon because I had to see what we were going to talk about today, right? So you gave me a little overview, but they really are magnificent. So can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Absolutely, John, and the reaction has been fantastic, but both the Granite and the Keystone, these next generation trucks, as I said, redesigned from ground up to focus on the jobs you have and the job sites you have, make them smarter, safer, and more profitable.
So, JR, the Granite, first of all, great name. You know, truck got revamped. Glad you kept the name around. So can you just tell us a little bit more about that one specifically?
Yeah, so the great thing about the Granite is that the new Granite is what the Granite has always been, right? And certainly we don't like to fix what's not broken. So it is reliable, it is durable, and it's got that power and performance that everybody knows and has come to love and expect. And the whole premise of this, of course, is that it has the ability to navigate the terrain. It is able to manage and handle driver fatigue in a good way, other aspects of what comes with it. But with the new Granite and what we've got with that and what happens is we've now developed it for higher levels of safety, technology, reliability, and efficiency, right? And that's what this new platform really, really delivers for us with the Granite. We still have, of course, the integrated powertrain, which is a mainstay for you know, we were the original proprietary back in 1900, right? We just celebrated, as Stephen said, 125 years. We continue with our high-strength steel alloy cornerstone chassis. But again, it's all about the development of the additional aspects that are addressing customers' pain points today and our ability to address tomorrow's needs with this new platform on the Granite.
Okay, so...
Yeah, and I'll maybe jump in on the Keystone, because obviously that's the second product we launched. As I said, it's a successor to the Pinnacle, which has a long life with the Mack company, really focused on high ground clearance, low center of gravity, heavy-duty frames, so that we can have much higher load capacity, especially on the front axle. And we do have this in an axle forward and an axle back configuration. The other thing that we focus on is really an integrated powertrain between our transmission and our engine, which gives us smoother shifting, faster braking on steep grades, and also acceleration with less throttle, which actually means better fuel economy, and also less wear and tear on the engine and the drivetrain. So Keystone really kind of helps us address these issues, but also focus not only on the durability and the reliability, but the comfort for our drivers. And a lot of that was a wider cab, air suspension, seats. These seats have massage, ventilation. I mean, whatever you need, these seats are going to take care of our drivers.
I mean, they're almost as comfortable as the seats in the...
Probably.
Almost as comfortable. The other thing I want to make sure we talk about, too, is this impact windshield, and we were joking about it on Monday night, but we were actually firing chunks of ice at 60 miles per hour at this windshield. Thankfully, no one was injured.
Especially you.
Thankfully, yes, especially me. Thankfully, the windshields didn't break, and they hold up. So again, just designed for the challenges that our customers face on a regular basis.
Okay, so I've already started saving my money. I'm sold, but I kind of mentioned these trucks are available in your booth. So, JR, can you just kind of tell us where that is and what people should come check out?
Come to the South Hall. We're easy to see. You walk in that front section, look up, you'll see the Mack. The trucks are there. They're gorgeous. Come see Walter the Bulldog, take a picture. He's not skateboarding today or tomorrow, but he's a ham for the camera, so come check it out and check out those great trucks. South Hall.
All right, so I'm sure we'll circle back to the trucks a few more times here, right? But Stephen, you made a pretty bold statement in your opening, right? So you said that the trucks and the benefits are becoming more uniform across the brands. So let's just talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, and I guess I'd say that's not what you expect from OEM, who's just introduced new trucks that would be here talking about services. But at the end of the day, the reality for us is that brands of the future are going to be a combination of obviously a good, solid truck, but also making sure that we have services to surround that truck so that we can deliver the highest performance, the highest safety, and also focusing on our customer experience. And again, our customers, when they buy a truck, they're looking at a certain job to be done, right? And they want to do it safely, profitable, and make sure that even with tight margins, they can do better from a cost of ownership standpoint. And we really try to look at the pain points, right? It's not about the chrome packages. It's about missed pours. It's about blown schedules, overtime penalties, the things that can cause extra heartaches and heartburn for our customers. So as I said, we really want to focus on the customer experience, a full range of solutions around productivity, operating costs, and driver loyalty.
So let's just keep talking about that a little bit more. Can you give us an example?
Yeah, I think historically the vocational space hasn't really focused on safety. Very much in the highway side when you have DOT and NHTSA and some of the rules and regulations. But job sites can be very cluttered, very chaotic, and there are serious incidents that can occur on a job site. So one of the things we've done is work on a groundbreaking safety system, which made it standard on our lineup of new vehicles with multiple safety features that you can add on top of the base level.
Yeah, and so as Steven says, and it's about the solutions that you're able to surround the truck with that are really going to drive the differentiator. One that he just talked about, and we come to call Mack Protect, which comes standard across the model. So our Anthem and Pioneer, a year ago, we launched the Pioneer, which is our new on-highway tractor. Then followed it with the Anthem, which is our regional haul, and then of course Monday night our two new trucks, with the Granite and the Keystone. So this Mack Protect, it offers features that are incredibly important to our customers: forward collision and lane departure warning, forward pedestrian detection, front airbags, and options that fleets can add on, like side curtain airbags, lane change and blind spot support, and active steering capabilities with lane keep assist. Things that you're used to on a regular basis nowadays in just your car, and have been standard and moving in the on-highway segment, we're now bringing to the vocational segment.
I think with Mack Protect, it's a little bit more than just truck features. We're really fundamentally changing our technology approach to safety. Because we have this proprietary offer now, we can leverage all the data that's coming off the truck and really create this integrated, seamless safety solution for our customers. So a lot of times from customers, I hear, hey, how do I know if these safety features are working? And now that we have all of that data, we have this safety ecosystem, we're immediately able to spot if one of those safety features isn't working, send alert out to the customer, they can inspect the truck and get it back in operations. Steven mentioned we also hear a lot about job sites. No job site is the same, they're tight, they're congested, and we have the data that shows that 80% of the accidents that we see, incidents that we see, these occur at low speed, tight zone situations. So with Mack Protect, we're not only focused on those highway safety features, we're really focused on this low speed, active safety as well.
That's amazing. So Steven, we got to know each other pretty well when you were at Volvo Construction Equipment, and let's talk about that and maybe how these solutions aren't just available in the truck space and they kind of impact the whole Volvo Group product.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're part of the Volvo Group. We're closely working with Volvo Construction Equipment as we have similar customers, similar job sites. We want to make sure that we have the tools to focus in on performance. Let's take, for example, you've got a busy construction site, lots of moving pieces. But you can use a system called Connected Maps to really look and understand, where the vehicles and trucks are in the job site and how can you manage that chaos in a safe way so that you're not getting clutter in one local spot. And it's kind of like a GPS for your car, but much better and really designed for our industry. The map is interactive, so various vehicles move around safely. And again, you can kind of program where you want certain zones and safety spots. For example, one of the things outside of the safety is also to look at the productivity. So, for example, there's no line at a loader because you wait till the truck's ready and then you signal the truck to come and be loaded. So those are kind of things we're trying to do to manage it. And then, there's monitors on the system, on the truck to see that the vehicle's being loaded to the right amount. Obviously, you want to get it as close to possible to the target level. Obviously, if you're over, you could potentially have penalties and fines. If you're under, meaning you're not necessarily capitalizing on getting the full weight to your project. So Again, we're trying to prevent fines. We're trying to present premature wear and tear on the vehicle and lower fuel costs. Things that are obviously important to the owner of the machines.
So, Stephen, you just mentioned productivity. So, Nicole, I'll go to you. Like we talked safety, which is always should be everybody's top of mind, right? But productivity is probably like a close second. So, it's also a major concern for fleets. So, what can the OEMs do to help improve productivity and uptime other than just having a top-notch truck?
Well, even with a top-notch truck, you're still going to need software updates. And I think a lot of people don't realize that software is a really efficient way to make sure that the trucks and the machines are running in an optimal way. And today we can do thousands of updates over the air on these trucks, and that really helps prevent unplanned downtime and make sure these trucks are optimized in a really efficient way that they can have maximum uptime. So what we hear from our customers too is that it's great we can do over-the-air updates, but they said, how can you make it even better for us? How can you make this simpler? Take out the admin, make this something that we could easily do. And we took a lot of inspiration from your iPhone or your watch, where those software updates just happen automatically. And Mack was the first and only OEM to introduce something we call auto send, which takes those software updates, directly pushes those onto the trucks. So an owner-operator or a fleet manager, they no longer have to keep track of which truck has which software update. Those trucks are just automatically updated. And to give some perspective on this, last year we did 115,000 updates over the air, which before, just to give some perspective on that, in the past 7 years, that's double what we did in 7 years. So this really just emphasizes how quickly the technology is changing, how much we can do over the air. We also looked at, before we had auto send, running population was about 27% of that population was on the latest software. So big portion of our population was running without the latest software updates. Now that we have auto send, we see that 80% of those trucks are running with the latest software updates. So really exciting. That means that they're more productive in the field. They have less downtime.
That's great. So kind of talk about the things the customer doesn't have to do then because it's automatic update, but what can you tell us some of the things that actually, what that really means in actionable terms to the customer?
Sure. So like I mentioned, these 115,000 software updates we did, this represents to customers, this is about $60 million of preventative revenue lost. So huge numbers because these trucks were running, and that's about 100,000 days worth of downtime that we can avoid. So these trucks are not at the dealership. They're not waiting Monday morning when there's a new job. They're not waiting for software. They're up running, and customers are using them to make money and drive their business. Also, in addition to those software updates, we're able to do parameter settings. So again, a lot of our customers tell us we want to set maximum road speed. We want to set parameters around idle time. We have drivers that drive in very snowy conditions, so we want to have winter profiles. And those are able to be done over the air as well. We can do those in a matter of minutes, get the truck back and running, and keep those drivers happy and companies making money.
Great. So, JR, I'm sure there's issues that can't be solved over the air.
Yeah, by show of hands, I'm going to age myself. Who's familiar with Ron Popeil, the name Ron Popeil? Really? Seriously? Like 2 people? 3, 4? Romco? But wait, there's more. Really? No. Fantastic. So look, we've got solutions there too. And the key here is when you look at you're an operator and you look at your expenses, right? It's the asset, it's the insurance, it's the fuel, and then it's the maintenance. And again, our goal here is to make sure that our customers have peace of mind to do the job that they need to do, understand what their expenses are, and make as much money as they can in a tight operating ratio environment, ultimately satisfying their customer as well. And one of the ways we're now doing this in the vocational segment, I believe we're one of the only ones doing this, is service contracts and tailored maintenance plans to optimize performance. And what this does is we're not so dogmatic to believe that things have to happen in these segments or in these criteria of miles or things of that. So we use adaptive maintenance to drive performance. We see a 38% reduction in planned downtime as a result of that because we take the real operating parameters of the truck in real time. We use the adaptive maintenance to eliminate the over or under maintenance. As Stephen talked about over/under loading, it's the same thing with over and under maintenance as well. And just optimizing drain intervals based on conditions of use can save roughly $6,000 per year per truck. run a lot of trucks over a lot of years, that's a lot of money. At the same time, we also know that operations work differently, depending on where you are in the country, depending on how you operate with your customers. So we offer flexible monthly payment options, including bundling the truck with bundling the services with the financing of the truck through MFS with 0 fees and interest. And it's not just for the highway product. As I said, we are the first ones, I believe, really offering this end-to-end solution for the customers in the vocational, in the construction segment. You know every month what your expense is going to be, primarily for that service. And again, we're going to optimize it. We're going to drive that. And in essence, we become a bit of a fleet manager for the fleet.
And in addition to the service contracts, we have a whole suite of integrated uptime solutions as well. Just to break that down a little bit, we'll start with our Guard Dog Connect. So again, I mentioned there's tons of data coming off of this truck, and Guard Dog Connect is really our preventative technology. We're using AI. We're constantly monitoring the data that comes off the truck, analyzing the health of those trucks, so we're able to spot if there is an issue early. A lot of times we can predict when those issues are going to happen even before something shows up on a driver dash. When an issue does arise, we're able to share that information with our dealers, and then, as Stephen mentioned earlier, we have an uptime center, so we're able to send that to our Mack one-call team. They're able to contact our drivers, contact fleet managers, and make sure that that truck gets immediate service as needed. Because we have this technology and we're constantly learning as the data comes in off those trucks, we see about 87% reduction in diagnostic fault alerts. So again, we're able to predict that they're going to happen before they actually happen. And when they do happen, we see about a 30% reduction in repair time. So we know that this fault code means that this needs to be repaired at a dealership. So we're able to send that information, share that with our dealer partners, get those trucks in and out and fixed quickly. And all of that means that 96% of the time, those trucks are fixed right the first time. So we're not guessing what's wrong with the trucks. We know what's wrong. We can get in there quickly and fix it. Second component of our uptime bundled service offering is Mack One Call. So Stephen mentioned we have this 24/7 uptime building, and Mack One Call, in addition to doing all of the monitoring on these fault codes and diagnostics, they're also there for roadside support. So if something does happen, they take care of that driver, they make sure that they have that communication that they need to get back on the road. This team handles about 20,000 calls a month, so something that our customers love, they take advantage of, and we're there to help support them. And then the final piece, I've mentioned all of this data, all of this services we have, and it's great that we have it, it's great our dealers have it, but we want to put this in the hands of our customers too, and that's really where Mack Connect comes in. This is our customer portal, so customers can go out there, they can see all of this information. They can also see their location history, they can see safety reports if they want to do some driver coaching on the safety reports, and they can see things like fuel economy as well. So bundling all of that together to have like an integrated uptime solution.
And one of the things that, and Nicole's throwing a lot of numbers at you, 96% fixed right the first time. With our uptime center, we see 98% uptime. And what that means is 98% of the time, truck is available for it to do what it's supposed to do, which means it's earning money. Ultimately, again, that's what we're driving. We build trucks to do everything that the customer needs it to do, whatever the application may be. But again, the key is making sure that ultimately, when it's time and it gets the call, it's able to run, it's able to go, it's able to do what it's supposed to do, and the customer is able to make money. In the meantime, we're also the only OEM with the Allison transmission partnership, providing a seamless experience regardless of what transmission the customer chooses for the vehicle. And then, of course, I mentioned Mack Financial Services about a minute or two ago, along with Ron Popeil. Everybody else, you should look up Ron Popeil. I'm going to bring that back a couple more times, if that's okay, because
I'm here for it.
Personal hero of mine. I grew up with him on TV. Traditionally, people think of financial services as just helping a customer buy or lease a truck, right? But it actually allows Mack to deliver a competitive solution. I talked about how, again, we're not so dogmatic on how we work things. The reality is, you run hours, we'll bill on hours. You run certain times of the year, cash flow is important, we'll bill during certain times of the year. You want to go on miles, we'll go on miles, right? And again, we're adaptive to the point of how your operations are running, how your business is running, on how we're going to work with our customers to provide that solution. And our customers also have a dedicated person to call. We bring it all together, trucks, parts, maintenance, service, contracts, insurance, connected services, and keep them all running one predictable payment.
Yeah, JR, and I think that's just on the OEM side. But what's more impressive is really the commitment that our dealer network has made over the last decade. More than $1 billion in investments, really focused on locations, increasing the number of service bays, making sure that our technicians are trained to the appropriate level. And mobile vehicles now are becoming more important, even in the truck dealership side of it. So again, just huge investments from our dealer networks to focus on and continued uptime and support of our customers. And one of the things that we're focused on is what we call certified uptime dealers. We've kind of batched trucks into different segments. If you can get fixed within 4 hours, you go into a certain bay. If you can get fixed in 4 hours to a day, it's another. And then if it's a wreck or something that takes longer, then obviously it's in different bays. And that's really driven throughput through our dealer network. We've seen a 41% increase in our service bays because of that. We're getting throughput. Customers love it because if they can get fixed within 4 hours, they're in and out that same day, which is traditionally that's been a 2 to 3 day turnaround time for most truck dealers in the industry. So we're very proud that we're seeing much more throughput for our dealers. We've also seen a 75% increase in what we call our master techs. These are the top line technicians. And so again, dealers are required to have a certain level of technicians at certain thresholds, and master techs is super important to us. But I think as Nicole said too, right, we've seen a 30% reduction in repair time, a 96% fix right the first time, and then as you said, 98% uptime. So those are the kind of statistics that when we talk to our customers, both existing and prospective, we want to help them understand that we can support them.
There's another thing too I want to, just to jump in front of you, Nicole, sorry, is that these are mechanical things that are going to break, right? And this all seems very simple, but it's kind of like you're sitting on an airplane, the gate's pulled away, you're not moving, and for 25 minutes, the pilot doesn't come on and tell you what's going on, and your angst just starts to build. You don't know. I mean, it's like, what's happening? Just tell me something, right? The key here is communication with the customer as part of the uptime, as part of the one call, so the customer knows the actions they need to take in order to adjust whatever it is they're doing with their customer. If it's a 4-hour fix, great, it's a 4-hour fix, we get the part in. If it's longer than that, we let the customer know. Then they can make the decision, do I need to repower the load? Do I need to put a new piece of equipment out there? How do I ensure my customer, as the Mack customer, is getting what they need to satisfy their situation? And so communication remains a critical aspect of this, and that's really what the uptime delivers as well.
I think what drives that communication is the technology. So Stephen mentioned that our technicians are learning, but they're not the only ones learning. Our systems are learning. We are doing a lot more with predictive analysis. So we're taking, again, the Pioneer, the Anthem, the Keystone, the Granite, these are our most connected trucks. This entire truck is connected. So the amount of data that we have coming off of these trucks that we can analyze, we can assess, we can learn from, it's huge. And now with that information we have, about 95% of the time, we know what that fault code means. We know what repair will address it. We're even able to predict, like I said, before that fault code shows up, we're able to predict when it's going to show up. So this kind of leads us into even more predictive stuff that we can start doing with these really connected trucks.
So I guess we were doing AI before AI was popular.
Yeah, we were pre-AI.
That's a thing. So in this case, we can move, and ultimately the goal here is to move away from fixes fail. But the big question is, Nicole, Stephen, is are the customers ready and willing to go on that journey?
Well, I think they are. We recently introduced our preventative maintenance service contract, which is a massive change for the industry. It's a change for us, a change for our dealers, a change for our customers. And we're really excited at Mack to be leading the way for that change. And I think month over month, we're starting to see more customers wanting quotes on those contracts. We're seeing more customers sign those, which to me indicates that they're willing to come along on the journey with us.
So we talked a lot about, kind of the maintenance and everything like that, but Nicole, unplanned breakdowns aren't the only issue Mack Trucks is tackling, right? So I understand you also have a solution to help prevent job site collisions?
Absolutely. So in addition to the truck launch on Monday, we also launched what we're calling Command View. Stephen said this a couple times. We know job sites, there's a lot going on. We hear that from customers all the time. There's people, there's objects, there's things at a job site, and they really wanted to to help solve that pain point. So that's where Command View comes in place. This is a 360 4-camera integrated solution that kind of provides that bird's eye view of the truck. So a lot of situational awareness for the driver, alerts if there are objects and things in the path of the truck so the drivers are aware of that. And a lot of times what we hear from our customers is that they have a veteran driver, wonderful, they can navigate a job site, but these newer drivers, they need this situational awareness, they need these alerts. And we took it one step further because it's great, even with the alerts, even with the cameras, we know that accidents do happen. So we're also recording that. If the truck senses a hard braking issue or they sense something going on or the driver can activate it, we record the camera, we record all of the footage, we share that through Mack Connect with the customer so they're able to look at that, use that for training, use that for coaching, or if there is an incident, they can use that to help resolve the incident.
Yeah, I think we piloted something just recently for a large vocational customer, CRH, in early 2025. Kind of helped us co-create some of this, and the feedback's been very positive. I think it's really solved some of their pain points when they're on the right, in certain locations on the job site. And I would say, don't take my word for it. Let's show a little video of some feedback from CRH.
So I'm Sam Doherty. I'm with CRH with the Architectural Products Group. Depending on when our customers are accepting deliveries, we can have drivers start at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to beat traffic in those metropolitan areas. So we might be delivering to our retail customers, or we might be delivering to a single-family job site that is on the side of a mountain on a very narrow 1-lane dirt road. It varies widely. The front of the truck is very high off the ground, and someone of average height, even just standing next on that right front corner. A lot of times the drivers do not have visibility to them. The solution for that on our flatbed straight trucks, it didn't exist at the time. And we asked Mack to help us with this, and Mack did. They kind of have this big 5 or 6 foot block, and that's this forklift on the back. So it's made backup cameras a challenge to implement with ease. We just kind of had this why does this have to be complicated? And it didn't have to be complicated. So we're utilizing just a really strong magnet on the back of the truck. We have this handle, literally just pull it off. So this is the backup camera. And it's held on with a couple of carabiners, and when the driver's not using it and he goes to utilize his forklift, he just places it right there and he's on load. And it literally takes seconds to put it back in place. That's it. Safety is the #1 priority at CRH. When we want to innovate safety, we want it to actually make a difference. We don't want to say, oh, we added this reflector right here, look how safe we're being. We want actual safety measures. With Command View, we have, I think, a full 280-degree view around the truck. Any tool that we can give our drivers to be more safe, that's a win. Mack has been the vocational truck of choice. It's more than just selling us a truck. We rely on them to help keep our fleet going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we can clap. It's okay. You clap.
Yeah, no, I think CRH found this, as you heard today, to be super helpful. They've ordered more, and the kits are being installed from us and our dealers, and we see this as an opportunity to expand out to other like-type fleets where they have the same type of pain points around visibility of trucks. And so, again, something that we're proud of to focus on safety, and our fleet seem to be eager to have this installed.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, a lot of solutions that are really having an impact, right? So how did all these solutions come about? Or maybe like a better way to ask it is how are you and the Mack Truck team so certain that this is what customers need?
Well, I think, one of the things we started a couple of years is just really better understanding each segment, job by job, site by site, to understand what they go through on a daily basis. What's their workflows? What's, where do they have pain points in maintenance? And what are the things that we can do and our dealer network to support them? And so this led us to really look at, we call, innovative, outcome-driven type solutions. We don't want to create anything if it's not going to add value. And so we always include customers. We always get feedback. And it's an iteration. We continue to make it better and better by getting customer feedback. And then once we feel comfortable with it, then we launch it in a broader scope. At the end of the day, customers don't want digital tools. They want fewer disruptions. They don't want camera options, right? They're really trying to, again, be safe and productive, and they sure as hell don't want data, right? What they want is simple, actionable information that can make sure they're helping the foreman or the fleet manager and the driver better plan for what they need to.
So I love hearing this, from my perspective, right? I mean, the team's really focusing on things that impact the customer today, tomorrow, in the future, right? So, JR, how are you using all of this information to really create that better product for the customer?
Well, you start with the question of what are they hiring the truck to do? And like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and maybe I was a pup selling trucks, it was about horsepower, it was about torque, it was about startability, gradability, easy plug and play, and stuff like that. And, how's it going to look at the truck stop, right? That's not the answer anymore, right? So it's not when you ask today, what do you need? It's not horsepower and options. They need a truck that keeps production moving without surprises, right? And that's what drives this. Trucks show up late. If they break down, it doesn't just affect the load, it affects the business. It affects the relationship they have. So we designed the new Granite, and we went back to the product a little bit, to address some of those concerns, right? Powertrain that handles unstable ground, uneven terrain without hesitation. Visibility, the impact windshield that I talked about, optional camera solutions that help drivers operate confidently, even in tough locations with blind spots and things of that nature. The integrated uptime suite of services. And when we actually had a customer that is signed on for these things, you're not just helping us run the truck, you're helping us keep the whole job site on schedule. You're helping us run our business. And that's exactly what jobs to be done is. When you understand the job behind the truck, and you keep looking for, and people, even as you walk the show, you keep looking for these revolutionary giant steps of technological advancement. And they happen here and there, but it's evolution of these things, right? Some of this is very meat and potatoes, and it seems very obvious, but it's taken a while to get to cameras. It's taken a while to get to these discussions around over-the-air updates and auto-send. I mean, we're the first ones doing auto-send in the vocational truck segment. We're the first ones with E911 call, where when there's a rollover or an airbag deploys on the new products, it automatically calls 911, right? So these evolutionary processes, they happen faster, but they happen in concert with what the customers are asking us to do in order to make their lives easier, again, at the job site. Not so much about the trucks, but about the work that they're doing, the jobs to be done.
I love that quote, right? I mean, you're not just impacting the truck, you're keeping the whole job site running. So you kind of think about like the small impacts or the small things that are happening, how they impact the whole workflow and everything like that. So with that said, I guess, Stephen, we've gone over a ton of stuff here, right? And I'm sure we've really just scratching the surface. So for anybody that wants to learn more, we talked about your booth in South Hall, but you want to tell anybody else where they can get more information?
While you're here, we've got educational sessions going through some of these services. You'll be able to find information on our website where we're giving examples of other fleets using similar technology. And then obviously, please call our dealers. They'll be glad to have a discussion about how they can integrate some of this technology to really improve productivity, safety, and ensure that you get a bottom line with it as well.
Excellent. Well, I think that brings us right to the end with a few minutes to spare here. So again, thank you for having me up here. Thank you for all the work you put into this. Thanks everybody for being here. So I guess with that, we'll come to a wrap.
Yeah, have a great show, everyone. Thank you.
Hey, and when you're looking at this again, because you want to watch it again, I'm sure, make sure you look up Rump Appeal.
Cheers.